Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Ruth, Moses, Job, Esau, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, Esther, Gideon, Joseph, David, Jeremiah. All of them reveal the common human drama which we all identify with. And yet they made it. You are next to make it. So this message is meant to destroy the common belief that only a small, minute group of special elite people are the only ones called to lead. And that you who are timid and afraid, self-imposed, depressed, never have any chance of ever making a mark in life or ever being effective in your life. We came to destroy that notion because all these people we are about to talk about in the Bible were all simple people, some from defective, dysfunctional homes with serious issues, unfavorable environments, and depressive conditions, just like you and I, and God still used them. There is hope for a tree, even though it may be cut down at the scent of water. Today, that word is coming your way. Today, you are scenting water. I don't care what you came here with. Today, there's a scent of water. Your situation is changing. Your leadership role is becoming more pronounced. Job 14:7-9 reads, "For there is hope of a tree, if it be cut down, that it will sprout again, and that the tender branch thereof will not cease. Though the root thereof wax old in the earth, and the stalk thereof die in the ground, yet through the scent of water it will bud and bring forth" what? "Boughs like a plant." Amen. Typical example is depicted in James chapter 5, verse 17-18. Elias was a man subject to like passions as we are. See? Elijah was a what? A man subject to what? Like passions, like us. Yet he prayed earnestly that it might not rain, and it didn't rain. And he prayed again that it will rain, and what? It rained. He was suffering the same passions like us. Yet he stopped the rain and then commanded the rain to come back. Like passions, like challenges, similar situations. Yet he commanded the rain to stop, the rain stopped. Commanded the rain to return, it returned. What you say to situations will happen. They were perfect examples of all of us, who we are, and that is why God magnified them. God didn't choose them because they were better than you. He chose them because they were just like you. Good news. God did not choose these people because they were not like you. He chose them and used them and made them outstanding because they were just like you and I. Don't let your leads stop you. Say aloud, amen. That's why you are looking at the subject, the power of self-discovery. Every person in the Bible that we admire as being great, God made sure they started small. He ensured that he picked them up from the times when they were small, just to make sure you and I have hope. So there's hope for you and I. That's why he says, despise not the days of what? Small beginnings. And he said, though thy beginning was small, thy latter end shall what? Greatly increase. Job chapter 8, verse 7. So I prophesy, though your beginning was small, your latter end will greatly increase. So the question is, can God use me? So let's look at some of the things that we suffer from, that these people also suffered from. So we are looking at defects, killer bugs, or leads that are on people's lives. Defects, killer bugs, or leads. Defects in these people's lives, or killer bugs which were meant to kill them, or leads that they placed on themselves. Am I talking to somebody? You know, sometimes we disqualify ourselves by placing certain leads on ourselves. As for me, I can't go this higher because they said this. So you have put the lead, the limitation there. These people, most of these people started out with limits, with leads, with killer bugs, and yet God did not even consider what they said. He overlooked their complaints and still used them. today, you will be used. First defect, low self-esteem. Moses asked the question when God called him, who am I? I cannot speak. I stammer. So, what's on your list as to why you cannot lead? You know, many people, when they hear the word leadership, I stammer. I cannot talk. Who am I? What's on your list as to why you cannot lead? Your nose, your head, your lip, your weight, your wide hips. Which one? What is it? People use all kinds of excuses. People go plastic surgery for all kinds of my face. My lip is an African lip. It's too big. African lips are normally, you know what I mean, average. What's your problem? God knew it. Many people use all kinds of reasons. My head, you see, when I was growing up, I had they used to call me Cape Verde. Now, it's not there. If even it's there, you see my face first. So I concentrate on the face and the message and probably walk backwards so they won't see the back. What is it that you have? Low self-esteem. You have a low self-esteem of yourself. But when you tell God that, he doesn't even reply you about that particular thing. Thank God. Number 2, fear. We are looking at Bible characters who discovered themselves and God still used them despite their leads. What is it that you are using as an excuse not to become a leader in your particular area? Second is fear. All of them, every one of them suffered from fear. Every one of them was afraid. Now, if you are afraid to be a leader, you qualify to be one. Just the fact that you are afraid to lead, that is the qualification for your leadership. Gideon was such a coward. As a matter of fact, he is the most renowned coward in the Bible. He was so afraid, he hid in a cellar, basement, under the floor. So you won't notice he's there till he lifts up the thing. God found him under the floor. And when God met him, the man who hid under the cellar, God describes him as valiant man, mighty man of valor, under a cellar, where Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein were hiding. Yet God called him a mighty man of valor. Whatever they have used to disqualify you, today God is qualifying you. Despite your butts, God will still use you. I say you will become outstanding. He was so afraid he hid in a cellar under the floor. It was he who said, I am the least in my family. In other words, we are from the ghetto. What did God announce to the man after he said that? He said, thou mighty man of valor. I'm sure when Gideon heard that, he looked around to see who God was talking to. He didn't believe his family had a pedigree to be with the elite. Yet he was the one the angel appeared to. Someone who was a coward, someone with low esteem, someone who was depressed, someone who was fearful. The word mighty, which was called, they called him mighty man of valor. The word mighty means power. Write it down. Mighty means power, and valor means brave. How can you equate this description of a person who is hiding under a cellar? The word mighty means power, and the word valor means brave. And he was none of them when he was caught, but that's the way God saw him. See, self-discovery. When God meets you in your condition, he doesn't tell you where you are. He tells you where you ought to be. This conference is designed to show you who you really are, where you ought to be by now, and where you can get to. That's the essence. All we need is one man or one woman to get this message. The whole world will be turned upside down. The world did not need 50 disciples. They had only 12. Mighty means power. Valor means brave. And he was none of them. Because he had been conditioned by his family. Many people have been conditioned by their what? Families. The things our parents have said to us that we are and are not and cannot do and cannot have and cannot be and where we cannot go. Whenever you say, close that door. Whenever you say to your children, they are rich and we are poor. They are rich and we are poor. Whenever you say to your children, they are rich and we are poor. They can live in that place, but we cannot live in this particular place. I cannot send you to that school because that's for the mock-a-mocks. That means we are the duck-a-ducks. Whenever you tell your children there are some things we cannot have, immediately you are painting a picture. Putting lids on them, limits on their imagination. I cannot send you to that school because that's for the mock-a-mocks. So that child